Sylas the Unshackled, the newest champion added to the League of Legends roster, brings a new mechanic where he can mimic the ultimate spells of his opposition. Players everywhere are intrigued by this unique hijacking mechanic and are looking for the answers for how they can utilize Sylas in their ranked games to get a head start on the new season. After just a week of Season 9 officially launching, the best Sylas in the world has come to light with a 70% win rate throughout 34 games of Korean solo queue, climbing to the master tier already. Today's video will feature a gameplay review and breakdown of the strategies that enable this player to own the title of the best Sylas in the world. But before we get started, I've organized 8 points I'd like you guys to remember when watching this gameplay, but also for you to remember when you equip the Unshackled yourselves. To get started, the runes. The best Sylas takes Arcane Comet with Inspiration secondary. His focus is on scaling and cost efficiency, rather than brute force with a rune such as Electrocute. He understands that Sylas was not launched in a very powerful state, and that to succeed he must be patient, poke out his opponents, and allow the champion to ramp up over time. He keeps the same page every single game, however he will swap the final stat shard for other options depending upon his lane matchup, whether it's HP, armor, or magic resist. Number 2, skills. The best Sylas takes E level 1 to create opportunities for early playmaking and aggression. From here, he will max Q and then W for maximum damage and wave clear. 3, his build. The best Sylas starts with Dark Seal and Refillable Potion every game, rushing towards the Luden's Echo, followed by Merlot Nomicon as his core items. He will pick up other AP items such as Rabadon's and Zhonya's Hourglass if the game goes long enough. For footwear, he usually builds Mercury Treads, but sometimes Sorcerer's Shoes instead. It really just depends upon the matchup. Very often, he will complete the Dark Seal into a Magi's, and is usually able to make effectiveness of the stacking mechanic. However, this isn't a staple for every game he plays, since he doesn't always pop off. 4. Throughout the early game, the best Sylas will usually choose to participate in plays, rather than seeking out perfect farming. He understands that he needs his team to succeed, so he backs his team up for better or worse in the early game to set up that momentum with his team. 5. He remembers to chain in his passive hits between ability usage. A pretty basic Sylas strategy, but not one that should ever be overlooked. 6. He anticipates the movement of his opponents in order to best line up his Q for both damage procs and to latch onto his target using his Abduct, the second use of his E spell. It's very important, of course, to land these spells, so predicting your opponents is what it's all about. 7. He utilizes a variety of enemy ults using Hijack. He adapts to the situation, avoids hijacking weaker ultimates, and doesn't cling to a favorite spell to steal. And lastly, when it comes to the mid and late game, the best Sylas cooperates with his teammates by grouping and following the flow of his team comp. He only makes solo plays when he knows he has enough damage to take down at least 2 champions with him. Of these 8 points I've shared, some will be easier to replicate than others, but with practice, I'm sure you can find similar results to the best Sylas in the world. For a closer look at what he does, stick around, for the full game replay analysis is up next. What's going on, guys? CaptainMonk here. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the best Sylas in the world currently. This is a player from the Korean server, and so far he's holding a 70% win rate as high as Masters. Now, keeping in mind, this is the brand new season, Season 9, so the elos have been reset, and this is a player who's already, within the first week of the new season, gotten to Masters in Korea. And again, 70% win rate over 34 games, maybe 39, it's one of the two, playing of Sylas. He's played some other champions, but he's definitely a Sylas main, and man, is this guy performing. His name's in Korean, so on my client, it doesn't really quite show those characters in Korean. It shows a bunch of question marks, as you guys are seeing on screen. But I went and did a quick Google search to kind of see what this would be in English, so I have something better to call him than boxes of question marks. And it came out as Verge mid-laner, or mid-liner actually, so I'll just be calling him Verge throughout today's game. I hope that's at least somewhat accurate. If it's not, go ahead and correct me in the comment section. I'm just, doing my best to try and name this guy and all that kind of stuff. But I think in today's video, guys, we'll be doing a little bit of a replay review where I'll try and shoutcast a little bit when there's action and just kind of do a little bit of a breakdown of things as it happens. But then after the action, I'll rewind and kind of slow-mo some things and just kind of break down some of the things that may not be apparent, right? So apparent the first time through, and then a little bit more in-depth review after the game has progressed a little bit further. So far you can see that Verge's team is just doing a little bit of a blue buff invade. It looks like the opposition is trying to push them off the blue buff, and it's a little bit difficult to say so far what's going to happen. So far, Verge hasn't taken a spell neither. He could still engage with his E if he wanted to, but he might just take his Q for the poke and damage. We'll see what he does, as his whole team is being poked out here by the Saber Boomerangs, but he's going to get hooked in here actually by Pike, and he did take his E level 1 here. He used his shield and tried to grab onto this, the Jarvan there, but not quite going to find much. But Lee Sin did get the blue, so that is a victory for his team. The opposition used their flash on Jarvan, but the Leon Ignite is gone. There's the Zoe looking for some poke. I guess Zoe didn't show up to the fight, but she did actually manage to get the early shove against Verge here. Now let's see how Verge handles this, because Zoe's now level 2. Looks like he's just going to AFK at tower. Awesome stuff. No, he's going to push on, I'm sure. I will mention nice and early on in the game, while we have very little action and no farm so far for Verge, make sure to drop your rating on today's video, guys. Let me know whether you like this kind of content or not. I'm definitely very curious. And wow, the engage already, level 1. I mean, he's going to take some damage back, but I'm impressed that he actually A, went for that, but also B, landed it. And okay, that's that's quite a way to get first blood. The Jarvan's fighting the Lee Sin in the river and losing, since he did die for first, or didn't die, sorry. He lost his blue buff, so he's a little bit behind the Lee Sin. So capitalizing on that, Verge and Lee Sin work together, drops the dubstep ignite. But oh man, the Zoe flashes forward, looking for the sleepy bubble trouble. Isn't going to quite land it. Really good dodge by Verge, and he's going to be just fine. Okay, so one thing I will mention as well here about Verge's gameplay here is not only is he a little bit behind the Zoe here, but he also has a Dark Seal. He is going to miss his E here, so he's not going to be able to get that chain to blink into the fight. But what he will be able to do here is get some auto attacks in there. The Q, the damage will come through. That will unfortunately be his demise against the Zoe. So I used both for summoners though, and Verge still has his flash. And upon that, he's going to buy himself some items probably here. Yep, a blasting wand already. That is a huge buy at 3.5 minutes in, since I mentioned he has the Dark Seal, but now he's got the extra AP, so I think the snowball is going to begin here. But you will notice that he's already down 9 farm, and I don't think Verge is too concerned with the farm just yet. Of course, farming is very important, but in these early levels, if he can get these winning fights, he'll get the pressure that will then lead towards being able to farm more easily. For right now, it's just about making sure he's out trading and beating the Zoe. And since he came to the lane with a little bit of disadvantage after that bad invade early, I mean, it worked out for Lee Sin, but everyone else on his team kind of lost stuff more than they gained anything, I would say. But yeah, the wave's in a really good spot for Verge now. You can see there's a big amount of red minions just kind of built up here. The concern is that they might just get to the tower and reset, but if he can hold the wave here and farm as many as he can, he might be able to catch up to Zoe. Yeah, so far he's still down 10, but there are lots of opportunities here for him to catch it out on. So as far as maxing spells here goes, he is maxing the Q. I have seen a few different strategies from Sylas players, from maxing the W to maxing the Q. I haven't really seen much maxing of E. The E is, of course, the shield, and then the chains to blink into the fight, similar to an Amumu bandage toss. Yeah, I think the Q max is probably the best. You know, it's a shorter cooldown. It's got 2 different damage procs. It's got a little bit more reach to it. Whereas the Kingslayer, the W, it's got great sustain. So if you're looking for an all-in situation, the W max is the way to go. But so far here, he is going to get put to sleep by this sleepy bubble trouble, but Zoe having no summoners means a very easy kill for Lee Sin and Sylas. Not really much to mention about the mechanics behind that. Really, it was just baiting Zoe into the fight by letting her land the sleepy bubble trouble, using his spells, and letting Lee Sin really clean it up. So from here, he's going to shove the wave in, making sure to chain his passive with the spin in between each of those abilities. And from here, it looks like he's roaming top. And I think I understand the logic behind this, because if you look at the top lane matchup right now, Irelia and Riven are going dead even, and they're approaching level 6 probably any second now. And with that, Sylas knows that there's going to be some action here soon, and he's going to try and show up for it. He's going to land the chain here after using his E, and the dive is coming through, but the damage is not quite there. Riven will flash to safety. Really good fight to choose there, though, by Sylas. And I really, of course, back him up on that one, since the Riven was going to hit 6 pretty soon. And you definitely want to get that lane in the favor of Irelia, because Riven does win that matchup all game long, early, mid, and late. But in the same moment, Riven is more vulnerable. Irelia has a few more options to try and keep herself safe. So now that Riven doesn't have the edge, it should be pretty safe top lane. And right as I say that, she goes and dies to a Jarvan gank. Unfortunate. Either way, Sylas has got himself an extra Amp Tome here and an extra Sapphire Crystal. And these are going to build in towards his item towards the Luden's Echo. The Luden's Echo is an item that Verge builds every single game when playing a Sylas, alongside items like the Morellonomicon and also actually the Magi's, which is kind of surprising to me when I first saw this, since this is Korean high elo. But in the same moment, I kind of get it, because Sylas, at his core, at his foundation, he's kind of a feast or famine champion. If you're doing really well and you want to push that lead even further, the Magi's, there's nothing better than that. But of course, if he falls behind, it's kind of bad. But in the same moment, if he falls behind, Magi's or not, he's probably going to lose either way. And that's kind of what Sylas is all about, is taking that lead and pushing it as far as it could go. So he's going to clear the wave here, maybe get put to sleep, but you'll notice here, the farm's even now. It's 35 to 35, and now he's going to re-engage on the Zoe, knowing exactly where she's going to go. And that is going to be an all-in with the Ignite, and wow, that was a lot of damage. Verge knowing exactly what he can do there. Let's rewind and watch that again, because I want to see a little bit more of what happened there. So he gets put to sleep here. Now notice how Zoe uses her ultimate. Using the ultimate gives Sylas the exact information he needs to know where Zoe's going, and that allows him just to all-in her. And after her ultimate's down and the flash cooldown's still ticking, Sylas has nothing held back. In fact, he still had his flash, so he could have pursued that further if need be. Now, Jarvan's going to show up here to try and clear the wave, but since he's beyond level 6 here, Verge has got what he needs on Sylas to use the Cataclysm actually against Jarvan before Jarvan even has his own Cataclysm. And I wonder if he's going to make a play here with it. I don't know. I think all-inning the Jarvan and killing him under his tower would be tricky, but I think Sylas is one of those champions that might be able to do it. He's got the damage, but does he have the survivability? Alright, well for now he's getting some good poke. You know, the Q procs, he is maxing that. He's got 4 points in it here so far. But Zoe's back in the lane. But Zoe's down farm now. Sylas has brought that back. And it looks like he's actually just going to roam down the river here. They do see the Pike, trying to get some vision control, but the Sleepy Bubble Trouble comes to the wall. He is going to dash a little bit of ways, but he is going to get hooked back in. What is he going to do to survive this one? He still has the Jarvan Cataclysm, and Lee Sin will be here to save the day as well. But yeah, I think the best thing they can do here is just run away, but it looks like he's actually going to go back in. The Cataclysm being laid down, doing lots of damage, the shield to get to safety, but will he be able to outrun the Jarvan here? He's going to flash. The Ignite did not burn him out. Lee Sin did clean up the fight on the Zoe, and Verge is still alive here on the Sylas. Absolutely clutch. Yeah, I was expecting him to run for his life, but that Cataclysm, yeah, I want to see that again. That was intense. We can back up just a little bit more here. Alright, so he gets put to sleep. From here, he gauges back on the Pike, and I don't know if that was the best engage, but he knew Lee Sin was coming in, so I think he wanted just to kill the Pike. But right here, let's slow this down, because he actually decides to go back in onto the Pike. And I find this super surprising, but it kind of works here. He does all of his spells, uses all of his damage, but he manages to use his E cooldown right in the nick of time to get that shield to keep himself safe and get the distance, and flashes right when he needs to. That was his first flash of the game, too. He hadn't used it up to that point, and gets away from the Jarvan. Damn. I think a little bit of luck might have played into that one. I think their team was thinking the same thing I was thinking, that wow, this guy's Cataclysming in. He's definitely a goner, and them thinking he's definitely dead lets them be kind of arrogant and not actually finishing him off. It's often the targets that seem the most dead that people let go. Anyways, though, looks like Lee Sin actually went through the jungle and still found Pike after all that. But anyways, though, Verge on the Sylas, he's going to pick up some items here. Now he's got the first component, the Lost Chapter, towards the Lord's Echo, but he's also picking up Mercury Treads. Now, I think the reasoning behind the Mercury Treads is really quite straightforward. Zoe, Sleepy, Bubble Trouble. He wants to reduce the duration of that sleep as much as he can, and he's going to accomplish that. The rest of their team is actually physical damage, so it's kind of surprising to me that he picked up Merc Treads this early, but I think that goes to show just how important it is to him that he's not left sleeping way too long. So it looks like he's going to shove the waves in here, using his spells to clear the waves, but also using his E to dodge that Zoe damage, but he did miss the Siege Minion there. That's unfortunate. So as far as maxing second goes, he is level 8, and you can see that he's got 2 points in his Kingslayer here. And that is going to give him more sustain, but also more damage, both of which more effective against low health targets. And from here, he's going to look towards ganking the Riven. I think he needs to loop through the Tri-Brush here, but he might... Oh, no, he's going in through the lane. Okay. So Riven's trying to engage, but picked a bad time. The ultimate from Sylas is going to steal the Riven ult, but Jarvan's here. All right, he's going to use the Riven ult. That's going to increase his AD as far as I understand it. And he's going to have that... Oh, there it is. And just absolutely annihilates the Jarvan. So he actually did use the Wind Slash on both targets here, but now Zoe's going to show up. She's looking for a lineup to maybe hit that Sleepy Bubble Trouble, but also back it off. I'm not sure what their Zoe's looking to do here. The stun will land on Riven, though, from Irelia. The dash forward. And the Sylas damage. Oh, it's so low. But he's asleep. Oh, and Zoe will clean it up. That's unfortunate. But Irelia is a level up. She should be able to clean up the Zoe, and she will. So that's going to be a double kill for Irelia. And Sylas does go down, but look at how many assists he has so far. He's got 5 assists, 3 kills, 8 kill participations, and only 2 deaths. He's a part of the action. And I'm not sure whether that's something that's coincidental because of the way this game is laying out, or whether he's seeking out these opportunities, these fights. I think it's actually that he's looking for these fights. I think that's what it more so is. In a lot of these situations, he could just farm and then go and farm his jungle maybe, even though he's not playing jungle. A lot of Sylas players do that because of how effective the AoE clear is with the passive and the Q. At least from what I've seen in my own games, but This guy, he's the best Sylas in the world, and he's consistently looking for fights. But the other thing as well is he's got his team backing him up. He's working with Irelia, he's working with Lee Sin. He's not working with the bottom lane as much, but he's definitely working with his teammates to find favorable fights and outplaying his opponents. But on that back row, he didn't find any new items. I think he's trying to save up for the next component he needs towards that Luna's Echo. He's got the Blasting Wand for it though, which definitely helps. And the Rift Herald did get cleared by Lee Sin after that victory top lane, so they're going to bring that mid lane. So I'm thinking what's happening here is they're actually looking to get this mid turret as fast as possible because they know Sylas is winning his lane against the Zoe. The Zoe's died 5 times. It's definitely a winning lane. But the sleep's going to come through here. Are they going to engage in the Lee Sin? A little bit of damage from Zoe, but not too much. But yeah, I'm thinking what Sylas and Lee Sin want to do here is they really just want to win this mid lane as fast as possible since it is already winning a little bit. And once they kill that turret, then they can duo roam anywhere they want to go more freely than they currently can. They currently can do quite a lot, but not as much. But hey, hold on, the Jarvan Cataclysm from the hijack coming through. Zoe's going to blink right back into the Cataclysm, but since Sylas was asleep, he is not going to clean her up just yet, but he might still be able to find the engage. The Sonic Wave came through, but it missed. The hook from Sylas came through, and that also missed. So they're not going to quite find their opportunity here, but they did force Zoe and Jarvan back. Zoe flashed, and I think Jarvan just managed to find his escape. Oh, and there's sleep coming through. This is where the Murky Treads come in handy. He's still going to take a lot of damage, but he's able to chain forward. He knows exactly where Zoe's going. He's going to do the damage, the passive, but not enough damage. Oh, if only he had Ignite, he could have done a dubstep Ignite. Here comes Jarvan. Oh, not quite. The Jarvan hesitated. He had everything he needed. He just needed one more auto attack. He had the blue smite, right? The slow was there, but not quite enough damage. One thing I should mention while it's still somewhat early is notice the rune choice that Verge has taken here. He's got Arcane Comet, right? Now, at first, when this champion came out on the PBE, the runes were kind of bugged, so you couldn't actually change from a default Arcane Comet page. But people were all saying, you know, once the rune bug is fixed, everyone should run Electrocute. Verge has got a completely different outlook on this. He is rocking with Arcane Comet. And I think the reason that is because in the lane phase itself, as Sylas, you really have to be more poke-oriented. You can try and all-in, but early on, your damage output isn't that great. They are actually buffing it. So with that in mind, what Verge understands here is that he needs to just focus on poke and getting his opponents lower. Maybe not against this Zoe. There's a lot of all-in fights in this specific match, but in a lot of his games, since he is running Arcane Comet in all his games, I think what he's finding is that poking and then going for the all-in is good, and the Arcane Comet helps that strategy. Now, right now, he's looking to go bottom after shoving in mid. Very consistently, you'll find that he'll shove in mid and then roam, looking for plays with his jungler or on his own when he's strong enough. And, you know, he's got his Luna's Echo now, so he's definitely strong enough. It's just a matter of what's available. And when he roamed bottom lane there, you know, didn't really find much in the lane itself, so he decided to come back up the river, get the Scuttle Crab. Very good thing to do as a mid laner that a lot of mid laners don't do, and almost landing the chains there. The Abduct, I think it's called. Let me just hover the spell real quick. Yeah, Abduct is the second part. Abscond is the first part. Anyways, though, the Jarvan Cataclysm is coming down, but Sylas is going to be there to save the day, trying to block the Riven from getting in the face of Lee Sin. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, but Sylas is going to keep doing damage, keep spinning, using his passive, and he's going to take down the Riven. Awesome. Great fight, but unfortunately, they were outnumbered. Irelia died first, and from there, it was the best case scenario was a 2v3, and Zoe is there to clean up, and so is Pyke. So, like, at least Leona's all the way over here, so Pyke's going to clean that up. That was definitely an outnumbered fight, but still taking down 2 when you lose 3. It could be worse, right? Could be worse. Either way, Sylas has now picked up himself an Oblivion Orb, which is a great item for Sylas because it gives him more HP. Any AP item on this character is definitely good. He's all AP ratios across all of his spells, so he's definitely good with AP. But beyond that, the question is, do you want to go full AP? Do you want to go, like, armor and AP, magic resistant AP? Like, what kind of variables do you want? And HP is the answer that he consistently goes with. In all of his games, it seems like he's getting the same first few items. The Dark Seal, the Luna's Echo, and the Merle-Nomicon. So he's going to clear the wave out here, and I imagine he's going to try and clear the next wave really quickly too, and then maybe join Lee Sin in the Dragon area, and then look bottom. That's my assumption. Let's see if we're right. The tower is really low though, so I think he's going to finish the tower off first, and then do what I said. That is unless Zoe gets in the way. Jarvan's here. Yep, so when there's a 2v1, he's going to back it on off since he knows Lee Sin's a dragon, and he is going to successfully do that. The dragon's already gone. Awesome. So it looks like some action is going to happen bottom lane here. I'm just trying to lock my camera. on Sylas. He saw the Zoe come with that ward, so he's just going to back out of the way of her. But he's actually going to shove one more wave because he sees that there's action bottom lane, but he also knows that if Jarvan goes bottom, there's nothing stopping him from getting his mid turret, and getting these towers is really important. Being a part of the fight's important, but he can probably do both if he does it efficiently. And he's going to look for an engage here. The Zoe ultimate is going to blink her away, but she's going to blink right back in for that Q damage. Okay, now he has the flank now. Zoe's stuck at tower. He might be able to catch Jarvan here. Oh, yeah. Maybe he's missing his spells. Yeah, he's going to miss everything here. But he is still going to force the Jarvan away from the Gromp, giving that to Lee Sin. Not too bad. And yeah, this bottom lane's losing somewhat hard. Oh, he got the Pyke ult. The Pyke ult's really good for Sylas because he can reset it just like Pyke can. That is one thing we should bring up as well, is Sylas is only as good as his opponent team that he's matched against, in the fact that if they have good ults for him to use, he's all set. But notice how he's never really used his ultimate on Zoe, right? Because hijacking Zoe's blink doesn't really do much for Sylas. He's stolen it from Jarvan a few times, he's stolen it from Riven once. I don't think I've seen him steal it from Sivir, which, you know, Sivir's ult's pretty good, but it's maybe not as effective for a champion like Sylas. But the Pyke ult is going to be great. Keep it in mind, as Sylas, you know, you are, again, like I said earlier, a very AP-focused champion with your ratios, but if you pick up an ultimate from an opponent that has physical damage with their ultimate, it actually converts so that you can do damage with that ultimate, even though you're building mostly AP, so that the AD ults aren't useless. So that Pyke ult is going to be absolutely devastating if he finds an opportunity to just reset that consistently. When it comes to farm, by the way, we were talking about it earlier on, how he was at a bit of a deficit because of the early invade, but then he brought it back. It was actually beating the Zoe. But since he's won this lane against the Zoe, I think it's really, really clear to me that he's focusing more on roams and plays and objectives rather than farm, whereas Zoe's the complete opposite. She's not really leaving the mid lane. She's trying to get as much farm as she can, and so she's up 10, but she's also dying and not assisting in many plays, whereas Verge here is doing the total opposite. He's got plenty of assists. So from here, it looks to me like, since the bottom lane has won, they're all grouping mid lane-ish, but they're trying to funnel some farm into Ezreal, since they're looking for picks right now, and when there's a pick opportunity, Sylas wants to be there to capitalize, whereas Ezreal, he doesn't really need to be there as much. He just more so wants to find the farm, scale up. So a dive's coming on the Riven here, the 3v1, but the Pyke is there, but the Pyke ultimate from Sylas will be enough to finish off the one target. The Pyke will flash away from his own ultimate, the Cataclysm comes through, the dive into, the Pyke, he's going to go down. The Cataclysm was great, but not enough, since everyone is going to dive on into that, and they are going to run away here. But this 5-man grouping team fight is really great. They picked off one target, picked off a second target, even under towers, whereas the opposing team here, the red team, is just not able to answer in a concise, organized fashion. So with only 3 champions up right now, Ezreal can shift forward, he can be really aggressive. The Sleepy Bubble Trouble is going to hit Leona, but that is hardly a concern, since even if Zoe blinks forward, she's going to get caught a little bit here. Jarvan's going to dash in, but that is not going to save Zoe, because Lee Sin's going to follow her all the way with the Resonating Strike, while the rest of his team takes down Jarvan. And now he's just spamming some taunt. I think at this point he knows that he's won this game. He's got a great score line. He's got 10 stacks of Dark Seal. He's going to steal that Riven ult because he knows that's the best for him at this point in time. And you got to keep in mind as well, as Sylas, early on your ultimate's pretty similar cooldown to other ults, but as the game progresses and you get more CDR and you get 3 points especially in your ultimate, the cooldown on it gets really, really short. So he's going to blink away here for a little bit, just get that shield and get away from Pyke. His whole team's backing off, so he realizes that although he might have wanted to for a short second there, maybe go for more kills, if his team's all backing off, he knows it's time to go back as well. So yeah, what is the cooldown on his ultimate right now? Alright, it says 63 seconds, but I'm not sure if that's showing Riven's ult because of a spectator bug, or if it's what his ultimate actually has a cooldown of. Once I find Riven though, I'll just look at it and compare and contrast. But then again, they don't have the same CDR, so it'll be tough to tell for sure. But I know for a fact that Sylas' level 3 ultimate, it's got like a 15-second cooldown. It's insane. It's awesome. Yeah, actually, in fact, I'm already looking at a web page here. 50 seconds for rank 2 ultimate. So what this is showing is actually Riven's ult cooldown, not Sylas's. So yeah, after going back here with 10 stacks on Dark Seal, he decides it's time for the Magi, so he's got that added to his arsenal alongside the Morellonomicon, a really great item for that magic pen, but also to reduce the healing on targets who get low, grievous wounds and all that kind of stuff, and AP and HP, you know, keep them alive, doing lots of damage. Great items to have on most melee AP champions, but I don't know, Sylas is kind of a special case, since you'd expect him to be an AD champion, and yet he truly isn't. But right here, we see the Zoe pushing way too far, and Sylas sees that too, so he's going to look for an opportunity to take her out. He pops the ultimate from Riven here, actually, and is trying to get the Zoe low so he can finish her off with the Wind Slash, since that is an execute. But he's gonna walk through the Sleepy Bubble Trouble. What are you doing here, man? Oh, maybe it's just a bait. He's missing all of his spells, though, but that Kingslayer does so much damage, and he just wipes her across the floor. Not much of a chance on that one. Admittedly, I think that was just one of those situations, though, where he's just more fed than the Zoe, so he gets what he's looking for. And you can't complain about that too much. Another thing that's definitely helping this game a lot, though, is his team has controlled all the dragons. He's got an ocean and 2 clouds right now, so his ability to roam around the map and regen out of combat, it's pretty good right now. If his team wasn't playing as well, I think this game might have been a little bit more challenging for him. His team has definitely set him up for a successful game. But his team's fighting right here. They're under the tower, though, so I don't think anything's going to come of this just yet. But the blue buff is almost up, so it wouldn't surprise me if Verge looks for that, but he might also look for a pick. It's just a tough time to find a pick, but he found the Sivir. Okay. So that goes to answer the question of will he pick up a Sivir ult, because he still hasn't picked up a Zoe ult, right? And that's not a surprise to me. But the Sivir I was kind of unsure of. So, oh, okay, I was going to ask, next time he finds a pick, he's probably going to pop that for his whole team to run after something, but looks like he's just going to use it immediately anyways. And now that he's used that, what's the cooldown here? 30 seconds. So with the CDR he's built up from his other items, the 50-second CD has turned to 30 seconds. And that Lee Sin Sonic Wave's going to reach, and there's the kill coming in. But he's going to get hooked back in by Pyke. He's looking for the way away. He's doing some good damage to Sivir, though. He's going to reach her with that Q and finish her on off, doing some nice spin damage to Pyke as well. But he's not going to pursue that because he knows Jarvan's right there in the corner of things, and Riven's right behind him. He's a little bit surrounded here, but if he finds right engage, he might be okay. Jarvan's getting caught. He's going to EQ away, but the damage from Sylas is there, but the escape with Flash is there as well. The ultimate from Sylas is going to steal Pyke's ultimate. He's going to engage here, popping the Pyke ult. He's going to land it. He's looking for the engage on Jarvan. He will use it, but the Jarvan has the stopwatch, doing some more damage to Jarvan. He's going to finish him off with the spin, and then some more hits come in, and more spins, and that will be the kill on Riven as well. Holy, that was a lot of stuff, and now he has the elite score, 1337, or not 1337, but 13-3-7, elite, and spamming the taunts. All right, well, he's got a big enough shield that he can take that tower shot. So one thing we'll come back to now is the farm. We mentioned a few different things, but the most recent thing we brought up about the farm was that he was actually behind Zoe because of his different focus in the game itself. Zoe was, you know, funneling the farm into herself in the mid lane, farm at tower, get as much CS as she could. Meanwhile, Sylas was actually down like 10 CS when I brought it up because he was making plays, playing with his team, making picks, getting kills, getting assists, that kind of stuff. But now he's actually up. Just one, but the point is when you're getting these assists, you're getting these kills, and your opponents are dying more, you're going to find the farm. It's going to kind of inevitably come to you because your opponent's too busy dead to actually farm. And that is staying the truth right now. And right there, right when I thought he was never going to use his Zoe ult, he actually steals his Zoe ult. So alright, goes to show he'll use anybody's ult on the opposing team, even Zoe's, in a situation where all he really wants to do is blink away from a Zoe paddle star. Alright. So what's the next item here? A full Rabadons. Whoa. And fully stacked Magi's. Let's not forget that neither. So this is a dangerous Sylas, without a doubt. No questions asked. And when it comes to his threats, I mean, honestly, like, if their team, the opposing team here, if they get organized and they get a few good fights, a good few picks, maybe get a Baron steal, or just take the Baron at a good time, and there's ways back into this game, but I'll admit, Verge's team is really set up to win. I mean, Riven's winning, Lee Sin's winning, you know, Sylas is winning, Ezreal's winning, Leona's winning. They have to throw at this point. I mean, Leona engages here. A really good Solar Flare is going to land on one. The Jarvan engages there, but Sylas does way too much damage within the Cataclysm. He is totally good to go. And he actually did steal the Cataclysm there, but didn't use it just yet. Might have used it on Sivir. Oh, no, Pyke's going to come through. He's going to get engaged on, though, and there's the Cataclysm trapping the Pyke. You're going nowhere, Pyke. And now he's going to break the Cataclysm of his own and use a little bit of a taunt, but he's looking for the Sivir here. The Sivir's kiting him quite well. She's got her ultimate, but will it be enough? Oh, it will be enough. The outplay, the spell shield. Verge, you're looking mighty silly right now, losing your Magi stacks to a 2-3, now a 3-3 Sivir. Outplayed. Damn. Alright, well, meanwhile, all this is happening. Irelia is in the bottom lane pushing, keeping their attention for the Riven, while the rest of the team does the Baron. I think Leona and Lee Sin were working on that with Ezreal. So, no Baron for Sylas, but everyone else gets it. Did a really good map play, since I would say Riven's probably the biggest threat on their team right now. Not to mention she's just a really good champion right now. So Irelia keeping her bottom lane is really good, so the team can safely do Baron after winning the fight. So what's going to be the next item here? We see a Seeker's Arm Guard, and that does not surprise me at all. He already had the Merc Tread, so he was kind of good as far as like magic resist goes against Zoe. But the rest of their team, I mean, Riven, Jarvan, Sivir, Pyke, these are all physical damage dealers, right? So the fact that he's getting a Seeker's Arm Guard makes a lot of sense. Probably towards that Zhonya's Hourglass, so that he can put himself in stasis after making an aggressive play to save his own life. But having the Seeker's Arm Guard is a good start towards that to get that armor built up. Yeah, you know, these are the kind of items I'm seeing Verge build in most of his games. I should have at some point throughout today's video brought up a match history screen so you guys can kind of see the builds he's doing. But he consistently starts with that Dark Seal, gets himself the Luminous Echo for that mana and burst for the wave clear as well. CDR is also a nice stat there. And then Morel Nomicon for the tankiness. Even though it's not a tank item, a little bit of HP helps. It goes a long ways. AP, Magic Pen that makes that damage go through a little bit better. And finally the Grievous Wounds, so they can't sustain through his damage. And when he's got Ignite with that too, there's just no surviving. So the Siege is coming through here. The engage on Leona is there. She's going to get burned out, but the Cataclysm comes through. Jarvan will EQ to safety. Really smart play. Irelia is kind of caught here, but she has the damage reduction. And frankly, they're just scared to engage on her. The 1 for nothing is still all that's on the table right now, though. But the Pyke ultimate has been stolen, and the Pyke ult will come through on the Riven. That execute damage is enough, but he's actually going to waste it here, trying to blindly take out the Jarvan. Not going to quite land it, but his team is going to siege here. He's going to engage actually in a 1v4. His team is not with him, but he will come out clean with the Pyke kill and back it on off. And clear the wave. His team's going to get the inhibitor with him. And alright, 17, 4, and 8. Oh, but the Sleepy Bubble Trouble on Aurelia. The Jarvan engages there. He misses. Oh, he's diving into the tower. Oh, but Nexus Tower is not going to quite be enough. The Jarvan will not take down Sylas, but the Zoe will with the Paddle Star. Damn. Alright, so this is the turn. Team's being too aggressive. Now Zoe's looking for the chase. She's looking for it. Oh, the damage is not quite there. The damage reduction is, though. And the Zoe will get taken out by the Arcane Shift from Ezreal. Looking to back off here. The Sonic Wave's going to miss. Sivir's looking for the pursuit. She wants the kills. The Spell Shield's there, but it's not going to be enough. The kick to the mouth alongside the Ezreal damage will take down Sivir. Alright, now Riven's looking for a way to clean her base up. Oh, but Pyke's there too. Pyke has... No, he does have ult. But what's the play here? Leona's taking tower, but I think there's just there's 4 of them. Like, how can they 4v2 this? Jarvan is up now, though. I don't think they can 4v3 neither, though. Yeah, they're just going to lose all their base. The bottom inhib's been taken out, mid inhib next, and now they're going to siege top lane and get all of the inhib towers and the inhibs themselves. But Leona's kind of isolated here. She kind of getting caught. Oh, the hook landed. The cash with Jarvan for the Q. The Riven's going to engage in. Oh, Blinky back here. Hold on. Here's kind of the fight back. The Riven will get taken out. Okay, now it's 4v2. Now it's really tough, especially with Riven. I really having a lot of HP here. Sleepy Bubble Trouble comes through. It did miss. That point blanks Sleepy Bubble Trouble needed to land on Aurelia, but it didn't quite. Oh, the engagement Lee Sin. This is suicidal. Oh, but he managed to safeguard to safety. Damn, if that Pyke ultimate hit, that would have been absolutely chaos. And now Sivir's rocking through. She's got the Spell Shield, but the timing's not quite right. Not going to dodge the stun. Leona is going to be the sacrificial lamb to get her team the time they need to get to safety. And now Sylas is coming through. He's looking for the cleanup. He's got the ultimate from Jarvan. What's the play here? Oh, it's juking. Get a Cataclysm to Jarvan. Blowing him on up. Oh yeah, he's gone. So once he dodged the key spells from Zoe and Jarvan, he decides to all in, knowing there's no threat. Now he's going to engage in the Pyke, and he's going to find it. All the damage is there. The Sleepy Bubble Trouble's there too, though. The damage from Zoe, but will it be enough? The Kingslayer might save him here. He doesn't need it. He has the shield, and there's the spin with the passive to take out the Zoe. Yeah, at this point, he's just too fed. They can't handle him. They cannot keep him under control. He's going to steal the Riven ulti. I don't know. You're quite low here, man. You're playing with fire. What's the play here? What is the play? Got the Riven ult. Oh, he's just going to toss it behind him. All right. Ooh, good little bit Q poke damage on the Sivir. And he's just going to evade the Wind Slash there with his shield. All right, Lee Sin's engaging. So is Irelia. They're just going to chase out these targets, and that will be the Sivir going down. And Sylas is going to be there as moral support. Not going to really do much, unfortunately. He did all he needed to get the fight out. All right, Jarvan's looking for the EQ on the Irelia. He's finding it. And I think Sylas is going to come through for the KS. No, Irelia's going to get it. Oh, but he's got the Pyke ult. There you go. Using the Pyke ult one last time to take down Pyke himself. And that will be the game. 44-16. It was definitely a stomp, but it was an entertaining stomp nevertheless. With 4 dragons in their arsenal, 22 kills, only 5 deaths. A fully stacked Magi's that did get reset a little bit and then fully stacked. Awesome game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. If you did, make sure to drop that rate on the video. It helps it a lot. And subscribe for more content. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.